Take me out to California. Take me out to California.
Hi everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Holly Matthews. I am a vlogger, a speaker, a self-development coach, an NLP practitioner. I am the founder of the Happy Me Project, links below for that. And I am a mum of two girls, Brooke who is 9 and Texas who is 7. On this channel, I talk a lot about positive mindset, about how our brains work. I share a bit about my family life and all that kind of stuff as well. If you like this video, then please do subscribe to the channel, give me a thumb, drop me a comment, let me know that you've been here. Don't just like lurk and then go. Let me know that you've been, let me know what you think, let me know your thoughts on the topics that I'm talking about. And your subscribe really does help with these channels. It's a crazy old world on social media, and having that subscriber count does help me to make content and that kind of thing. So I appreciate it, especially if you've been here before. Then drop me a subscribe, that would be amazing. And do share these videos if you find them valuable with those around you that you think might value them as well. So today we are talking about, do we want to go back to normal? Okay, do you want to go back to normal, the normal life that you had before? So when we talk about when I say normal in this, I'm not asking you to define what normal is. I'm talking about your normal, whatever was normal for you prior to pandemic time, prior to lockdown. What was normal for you, and do you want to go back to it? So there was a study done in the UK this week where they asked people that very question, and it came out that only 9% of people wanted to go back to normal. Now, I'm not surprised by this. I'm maybe surprised at how low it was, the figure, but it's a really interesting thing. So many of you, so when I did the Facebook Live on this earlier, some people were saying, no, I want normal back, but they were kind of still saying new normal. Now, I think that during this time we have been given permission to pause. Not like a permission like where I made that look like pause as in pause on a bear there. I didn't mean to do that. then that was in my head. Then I was like, why did you just do like pause like it was a paw? And now I'm talking nonsense and I've lost my train of thought. This is the way my brain works, guys. It's like one thought, next thought, next thought. Stay on track, for God's sake. So we've been given permission to pause, press pause on our life. And it's not just us, it's everybody. Everybody is in this weird sense of limbo. What will be next? What, you know, where we at? Even if you are still currently working, I know some of you are, and some of you are very frontline workers. You're all incredible, or you key workers keeping stuff going. You're amazing. But even if you are working, this is different to how it's ever been. This is not going to be the forever way of working. And so it's given us this time to reflect on the things that we want and the things that we don't want, and to really reflect. And I had people on my Facebook earlier who were saying, you know, I've realized that I really love my job. Like, I proper love it. And I didn't appreciate it. I spent my whole time moaning about it, but now I don't have it, and I don't have my work friends and the value I get from being at work. Suddenly I'm like, I really did love it, and I have this new sense of appreciation. You might be feeling that. Or the complete opposite, you might be going, no, this time of reflection has given me real reflection that I hate my job, I hate my work colleagues, I hate the environment, I hate what I do, and I want to change it all. That might be where you're at. Maybe it's a relationship thing. You are in lockdown with your people, probably. Or maybe not, you know, either way. But you know, maybe it's made you reflect on if you want to be in the relationship that you're in right now. You know, maybe you're sat there and you're like, we just don't connect anymore. We've been forced to sit together and be together, and actually we've changed. Maybe being apart at work every day is the distraction that keeps us together, and when we are together we don't have a lot to say to each other. That's reality. And I know, don't get me wrong, I know long-term relationships, things can get a bit stale, but you have to work on it, and you have to both be on the same page. Some people are lucky enough that they grow together and they continue that way. Some people at a point splinter off, and I'm okay with that as well, because life, we are different people at different points in our life, and it's a sad fact that sometimes we won't grow with our people the whole way. That's just the way life is. But this has given you time to reflect on that. Going out of this, do you want it to be same old or not? If you're not in a relationship and you've sat there on your own in lockdown, you're like, do you know what? I haven't really been like trying to meet anybody and I just want to. Or you've had your eye on somebody and you are not with that person and you're like, do you know what, I've never been brave enough to ask that person out. What am I doing? Life is short. I'm gonna ask them out. As soon as we get out of lockdown, I'm gonna get myself and ask that person out. This has given us time in every aspect of our life. Whether you're a parent, that's another area. You know, as a parent, you might have been enjoying being with your kids and now you're like, but then I have to go back to work and I'm not around them. Is this what I want? And I'm not. I appreciate that there's a balance to be had with that. There is a necessity to make money and all that kind of thing. And for some of you, you know, you have a job you go to and you'd love the luxury of being with your kids as well, and it doesn't always work. But it's about this time of reflection. Or on the other side, you might be like, Jesus Christ, I need the value of my work. It's driving me insane just being at home with the kids. No judgment on that. It's okay if you really find meaning and value and you need that separation from your children to come back and be a better parent. Knowing these things, noticing these things about yourself during this time is really going to help you to feel good about your life going forward. We do have choices. It doesn't always feel like it because sometimes we allow ourselves to be shimmied down a route, but you do have choices. Sometimes those choices are really hard. I've made big choices in my life at times, and even the hardest of choices that I've had to make, where it's annoyed everybody else around me, I'm still happy with those decisions now, and I'm glad I made bold decisions that made my life feel better in the long run. And that's the thing, you might have an idea about something you want to do and you might worry that you might be judged. You know, you don't want to upset people. One, that's totally normal, by the way. It's totally normal to feel like that. It's human nature. We are a social species. We don't want to be ousted from the group, so we try to stay safe in the group and you know, work within the group's rules. But you can't always live your life like that, because internally, if you are constantly avoiding one aspect of your personality or the ways that you truly feel inside, then eventually you're just going to feel rubbish about it. We talk about being your authentic self, and I know the word authentic has become a little bit like done to death, but your truest self, whoever you are inside, often we hide that from the closest people to us because we don't want to upset. We don't, you know, we people please. We don't want to upset those people. We don't want them to judge us. We don't want to be pushed out the group. We don't want them to think badly of us. And the truth is that eventually we just have to get over that if we want to be happy, or we will go to our grave never having been ourselves, and in which case, what's the point? You know, during this time of truly seeing life and death, and you know, many of you have experienced that personally, obviously I have as well, but seeing this global loss is it gives us clarity. If we allow it, it gives us clarity, and it makes us go, whoa, we actually die. There is a beginning and an end, whatever you believe in an afterlife, but what do we do with this time in the middle? One of my favorite quotes is by Bob Dylan, and it's man is successful, obviously in this case woman, a man is successful when he wakes up in the morning and goes to bed at night and in between does exactly what he wants. That to me is success, whatever that looks like for you. I can't tell you what your life should look like because that wouldn't make any sense, but you know what feels good to you. And you might be assessing right now that there are certain aspects of your life before pandemic that didn't suit you anymore, that you changed, you shifted. What are you going to do about it? Truly, what are you going to do? What are you going to change right now in this permission to pause time that is going to mean you come out of the other side being truer to yourself? What is it in your life? Because I think that you've thought of something already. You've thought, I really want to do that thing, or I really don't want to do that anymore. So what are you going to do about this going forward? Because most of the judgment that you think is coming from outside is coming from you. It's coming from you judging yourself. Now, one of the main things to believe in yourself, one of the biggest factors in that is showing up and taking action. When we sit thinking about doing a thing and thinking about doing it, we think about it and then we sit back down on the settee and we talk ourselves out of it because we give ourselves all the reasons why we shouldn't. That's why I talk about Mel Robbins' book, The 5-Second Rule, a lot, because she talks about getting out of your head. The 5-second rule, counting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When you get a thought to do something, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go and do it. Take action. action. Obviously there's a whole book on it, so it's a little bit vaster than that sentence I just said. Go and check that book out, it's great. I'm not affiliated with that at all. I just think it's a really good, simple concept, and I'm all about that kind of stuff. And so getting out of your head is the quick, and taking action. That's the way to get out your head. Get up, do it. Do the thing. Make the call. Do the thing. Start the business. Start the blog. Do the YouTube channel. Whatever it is that you wanted to do, break up with that person. Get real about life. It's just the feeling of ripping that bandage off and just doing it is the best feeling. I remember being in a relationship, my first big relationship. I was in it for 6 years, house, dog, all that together. And I met my husband, my husband when before his death. Obviously, for those of you that don't know, my husband died, so sorry if I said that really like bluntly there. I didn't know how to put it in any other way there. That was a weird moment, but I didn't know how to explain it. But anyway, before I was with my husband, I was in a relationship, then I met my husband, and it was all very, you know, weird and all of that challenging time. But I remember when I broke up with the person I was with, once I did it, horrible feeling before, horrible, because all the judgment and the worry and the what if, and you know, that person's going to be upset, and I'm going to upset their family, and all those horrible things. But inside I knew I wasn't in love with that person anymore, and I wasn't happy at all. And I was bottling all of this stuff because I didn't want to rock the boat. Then when I ripped the bandage off and I said, I don't want to be with you anymore, it felt free. I never once regretted that moment. I never once went, oh God, I want that back. I did not for a second. In fact, I can remember sitting on a field while it was all chaotic, in that stage when you've made a big decision and it's like, the world's like, what have you done? You've made a decision. And I remember sitting there on a field and just being feeling a sense of calm, that I'd made a decision for me that felt really true to me. And I remember before I made it, because I sat there and I thought, felt like I was on a train track. You ever felt this? On this track, just going along this route that I didn't want to be on anymore. I didn't want to be on that train anymore. I wanted to get off. And I felt myself going forward towards, you know, whatever the next step is in a relationship. Was it marriage? Was it kids? Whatever. On this train, on this expectation train from everybody else. And I remember thinking to myself, if you didn't get any kickback from anybody else, if there was no judgment, if there was no having to deal with having a property with that person and a dog and the chaos and the judgment and all of it, if none of that was there, you could shelve that and you could just leave this relationship, would you? And I thought, yeah. And then I thought, then you need to do it, because your life is this short and you should not live your life for anybody else. Oh, my phone is ringing. Oh, who is that? I'm going to need to stop this video. So I just stopped the video, and it was one of them dodgy calls where they don't even speak. Oh, for God's sake. It was an 020 number, and I thought it was going to be like, sometimes press or radio people ring me to speak on stuff. Anyway, we were talking about real deep stuff. So my realization was that if I would break up that relationship, because without any of the stress of that initial like telling everybody, then I should break up the relationship because I wasn't happy, and that was true to myself. There are so many people out there, and you might be one of those people, that are doing things that they don't want to do day in, day out, because they are pleasing everybody else, because they don't want to rock the boat. Oh, guys, man, life is too short for us to do that. It's too short. So do something that makes you feel good, even if you start small initially. I'm not saying everything has to be drastic, but just do something you want to do. Do something that is just unashamedly for you, not anybody else. It's not selfish. You got to do things to make you feel happy, and then you can show up as a happier person, which makes everybody else feel good because you're happy. When you're angry inside because you're not doing the job you want, or you're not in the relationship you want, or you're not doing that thing that you want, whatever it is, or you're doing the thing you don't want to be doing, whatever it is, then you don't show up in the best way, and you're not a nice person to be around anyway. So it's pointless. Your people will thank you long term when you are a happier person who's lighter. There's a feeling, like I've always felt when I made those big bold decisions, or I just showed up as myself and didn't care so much about the outcome, it always comfortable with the outcome. It's not that I never care, because I don't ever believe when people are like, whatever, I don't care what people think. Well, you do care, because we all care, it's human nature. But getting comfortable with being okay with that discomfort for a little bit, because it never lasts forever, by the way. People are never really mad forever about it. They're not. And if they are, if they don't move forward with you, then they don't move forward with you. They were never part of your team anyway. Like, I know that's hard. I know that it's not very nice when you think people are going to show up in a certain way, but we just can't live our lives like this. And anyway, this is where I'm at. This is my thoughts. We need to consider what we've learned from this time in pandemic lockdown. We need to consider what we want going forward. So I just want you to have a think. Get really brave with your life. Your comfort zone isn't comfy, guys. It isn't. It's not comfy at all. Show up for yourself. Show up, take action, and see what happens. And let me know. I want to know what happens for you. I want to know how, what you've created for yourself. I want to know what decisions you're going to make going out. I'm, going to go out and I'm going to be this way, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do less of that and more of this, and I'm going to start that business, and I'm going to do that thing. I'm going to start that blog. I'm going to get rid of that business. I'm going to get a proper job. I don't know what you want to do. You do. You know. Don't hide from it any longer. Don't hide from it. Be real with yourself. And you'll feel better for it, I promise. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching this channel. Please do subscribe where you can, and give me a thumbs up and comment if you want to say something to me about this. I would like it. I like a conversation with you. If you want to come and chat live with me, Facebook's 10 AM. Hopefully eventually back on Instagram when it allows me to go on there. It's not at the minute. And I'm doing meditations in my Facebook group, again linked below, the Happy Me Project Facebook group, every Sunday evenings. And I'm putting other bits and content in there as well, and hopefully over the next week be getting some people to do some live streams in there, which would be ace as well. What else am I doing? I don't know, I'm showing up on Instagram and stuff as well, so just come and hang out with me. And if you want to do some work on yourself while you're in this time of lockdown, then click the links below and do the Happy Me 1 or the Happy Me 2, and also let me know when you do those, because I like to catch up with you and see what your progress is, see what your wins are in life when you've been doing them. Thank you so much guys, have an amazing day whatever it is that you are doing. Peace.
Take me out to California. Take me out to California. I feel the day.